Maya is the granddaddy of every 3D application available today. It was launched in 1998 but was stitched together by a company called Alias Wavefront from pieces of an older software that had already worked on Terminator 2 and The Abyss. It didn't need to build a reputation from scratch, it already had one, which is why studios started using it for real production almost immediately. Then Autodesk bought it in 2006, and it's been their flagship 3D tool ever since. It technically covers the full 3D pipeline like modeling, rigging, animation, simulation, and rendering. But what Maya is actually known for is animation and VFX. Its toolset is the deepest in the industry. Character rigs, facial controls, motion paths, an unmatched graph editor for tuning movement frame by frame. And the proof is, every single film nominated for the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects between 1997 and 2015 used it. On top of that, Maya is now shipped with Arnold, a photorealistic renderer Autodesk recently bought so studios wouldn't have to rely on a third-party one. The only catch is that Maya does not hold your hand. The interface assumes you already know what you're doing, and getting comfortable takes real time. Then there's the price. At $225 a month, it is less of a software purchase and more of a long-term relationship you can't afford to end. Cinema 4D. For decades, motion graphics basically meant either learning After Effects and hitting its 2D ceiling, or opening Maya and immediately regretting every life choice that led you there. Then there's Cinema 4D. It didn't start as some polished industry darling. It started life in 1989 as a ray tracing program for the Amiga computer, built by a German company called Maxon. Genuinely, nobody could have predicted where this was going. Then in 2006, Maxon added a toolset called MoGraph, and that one addition basically became the entire identity of the software. MoGraph lets you animate and clone hundreds of objects procedurally, meaning you're not keyframing every single one by hand. Sounds simple, the results are not. This is the reason almost every sleek broadcast graphic, every animated logo, every Apple product launch visual for the last 20 years has Cinema 4D somewhere in the pipeline. It technically does everything, but its reputation is motion graphics and design, not character animation. Need a creature rig? Studios reach for Maya. Need something beautiful and fast? They reach for Cinema 4D. And the wild part is, it's also just easier to learn than Maya or Blender on purpose. It's why so many After Effects users land straight on Cinema 4D instead of fighting through the alternatives. The catch is the price. $121 a month, though it includes Redshift, an ultra-fast GPU renderer now bundled in for free. Blender. For years, professional 3D software basically meant paying thousands a year. Then Blender came and changed everything. Blender started in 1994 as an internal tool at a Dutch animation studio. But the studio behind it went bankrupt and investors ended up owning the code. They demanded 100,000 euros from its creator in order to free up the software and make it open source. The creator went public and appealed the users to raise funds. Eventually, in 7 weeks, they hit the target, and on October 13, 2002, Blender was finally open source and free to use for everyone. But for years afterward, nobody respected it anyway. The interface was painful, the shortcuts made no sense, and it had a reputation as the software you used when you couldn't afford the real thing. Then version 2.8 was released and it rebuilt the entire experience. New interface, new viewport, proper tools across the board, and the conversation flipped almost overnight. Today, Blender does the whole pipeline. It even ships 2 render engines, Cycles for photorealism and EEV for real-time previews. Which means Blender is not a hobby software anymore. That's why Spider-Man's used it. Netflix's Maya and the 3 was made entirely in it. Warner Brothers started hiring Blender artists directly. Despite that, opening it for the first time feels like being handed a spaceship with no manual. But thanks to rapidly growing community and YouTube tutorials, you can learn it pretty fast. 3ds Max. People think that 3ds Max is a stripped-down version of Maya. But it has been around since 1990, which in software years makes it practically ancient. It started as a program called 3D Studio, built by a small group of developers for DOS computers, and it was one of the first times anyone could do serious 3D work on a regular PC. Autodesk picked it up and moved it to Windows in 1996. And for a long stretch of the 90s and 2000s, if a game studio or VFX team needed to build environments and hard surface assets, 3ds Max was just what you used. Even the very first Tomb Raider game was built with it. Today, its strongest ground is architectural visualization. That photorealistic rendering of a building that doesn't exist yet. The interior walkthrough your architect shows you before a single wall goes up. 3ds Max is behind a huge chunk of that work. A 2024 survey found it holds nearly 60% of the architectural visualization market, which is a remarkable number for software that most people outside the industry have never heard of. It covers the full pipeline like the others. But what makes it different is Modifier Stack, which lets you apply and stack changes to a model non-destructively, is something Maya users genuinely envy. It is available on Windows only, and the price is $235 a month or $1,875 a year, basically identical to Maya. Houdini. Houdini started when two people, a rocket scientist and an architect, found themselves working at an animation company called Omnibus. The company went bankrupt, but they managed to bought the software they'd been building together and started their own studio out of Toronto called SideFX. The software was called Prisms back then. Houdini didn't officially become Houdini until 1996. From the beginning, it worked differently to everything else. Every action you take is stored as a node, and those nodes connect into a network. Want to change something? You just adjust one node and the change flows through everything automatically. That approach is why every major explosion, crumbling building, ocean wave, fire effect, and collapsing city you've seen in a blockbuster for the past 20 years was almost certainly made in Houdini. Frozen, Moana, Avatar, Dune, Avengers. The VFX companies behind all of them run Houdini. SideFX has won 5 Academy Awards for the technology. Nobody reaches for Houdini because they want to model a chair. They reach for it because nothing else handles complex, large-scale simulations the way it does. The learning curve is steep enough that it's almost a running joke in the industry. And good luck finding an in-depth tutorial on YouTube. You pay $299 a year for indie version, and $4,500 if you are big studio. Rhino 3D. Rhino isn't a complete 3D package like everything else on this list. It is a precision surface modeling app where every curve, every surface is mathematically exact. That matters enormously when you're designing a building facade, a car body, a piece of jewelry, or a yacht hull. Anything where the geometry needs to be perfect before it goes anywhere near manufacturing or fabrication. The real game changer was a plugin called Grasshopper, which later got built directly into Rhino. It lets designers build parametric systems where changing one value automatically updates the entire design. Architects use it to generate complex building forms that would be impossible to draw manually. It's used in architecture firms, automotive studios, jewelry workshops, and product design agencies worldwide. And the proof is famous Heydar Aliyev Center in Baku, which was also designed in Rhino. And the price is one of the most refreshing things about it. A one-time license costs $995. No subscription, no monthly fee, ever. ZBrush. Every video game character with visible pores, every film creature with scales, every action figure that makes you wonder how someone sculpted that ZBrush is behind most of it. Built by a small company called Pixelogic in 1999, the idea behind it was straightforward: to bring the feeling of working with physical clay into a digital environment. Creating highly detailed organic models like creatures, faces, and human skin inside a 3D environment was either impossible or painfully slow in existing software. ZBrush changed that completely. By the mid-2000s, it was everywhere. In 2014, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences handed its creator a technical achievement Oscar. Pixelogic ran it independently for over 20 years and kept upgrades free for existing users, which in software terms is almost unheard of. Then Maxon acquired it in 2022. Free upgrades ended, and perpetual licenses were quietly phased out. It's subscription only now, $39 a month or $359 a year.